Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, February 24, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. I want to let everybody know that, unfortunately, we had a shock that another one of our folks passed. He was only 44 years old. And that's John Butts of Natural Action Technologies. That happened, I believe, yesterday. So, it's unfortunate. But they got into the house, they found him in bed, and he was no more. Gather all courage and take a jump. Even the dewdrop slipping from a lotus leaf trembles for a moment, tries to hang on a little more, because he can see the ocean. Once he has fallen from the lotus leaf, he is gone. Yes, in a way, you will not be, just as a dewdrop dissolves into the ocean. You will be gone. But it is not a loss. You will be oceanic. And all their oceans are limited. The ocean of existence is unlimited. Osho. All of us are deeply and intimately connected with each other. We are like one grand ocean of energy consciousness that appears to form itself as separate individuated droplets of ocean water. Upon seeing the totality of our existence, it is blatantly obvious that we are operating under the energy source together. There is one common goal for all mankind. This goal is to merge, be unified with the one divine God source. We are here to experience our true vastness, totally being the all-loving, ever-present cosmic ocean. It was apparent how clinging to any one thought of individuated separation is where all of humanity's feelings of powerlessness, poverty, and suffering begins and ends. Nisargadatta once said, "Let go of the idea that you are not aware of yourself as the ever-present, changeless, inexpressible reality." What this means is that we are the ones responsible for creating the illusory experience that we are disconnected. Everything is needed and perfect in our world. Even the wonderful illusion of separation is needed, so as later we can create an experience of unification. When we accept our deepest illusions, hardest feelings, and most challenging pools of separation consciousness that we are swimming in, we can one day relax and float downstream, merging back into the great ocean. We are always connected with one omnipresent self. We are this single God source that is weaving its ways through everything and everyone. It's just that the mind gets in the way and wants something. It wants to be special, loved, appreciated, and accepted by this world. Most people don't believe this is their heart. They don't believe this in their heart, and thus unknowingly cling to the known, trying to heal, liberate, or enlighten themselves through holding to certain thoughts and ways of thinking about this life. When the mind becomes narrowed down on any one path for too long, it becomes fixated and tight, like a closed book. Cannot receive the new insights and abundance it could grow into. One of the most enlightening truths we can handle is the one that greatly increases our power, wisdom, inner peace, and manifesting ability. As we evolve closer to the exotic universal truth of who and what we really are, this universe bestows greater gifts and more beautiful manifestations for us to accept and enjoy. The tricky part is that many of us tend to hold tight onto ideas of the past and future. What we think we know feels comforting, especially when met with the great ocean of unknowns. The most enlightened and highest experience we humans can tap into is one that cannot be captured by the mind. Yet it reveals itself naturally and spontaneously when the mind is truly at rest and ease. Like the feeling we might get from a spontaneous breeze on a hot summer day. If we soften our hearts, or when, quiet our minds, and become deeply receptive, we can relax into it and deeply enjoy it. The head alone is not enough. It is too small of a container to take in the outrageous experience of enlightenment. The greatest experiences can only be absorbed with an open heart and soul. When the mind is quiet, something inside us instantly aligns with this infinite spiritual essence that is inside everything and everyone. When we devote our life to quieting the mind and opening our heart to the divine source, we can feel, see, and know our real self. What is our real self? It's that part of you who feels deeply, intimately connected with everyone and everything. It is so vast that it also has room for the experience that we are small, powerless, separated beings stuck in small pools of individuated consciousness. Yet, it is so much more. The real self is omnipresent, vast as the endless ocean, extremely bright, beautiful, and so powerful that it instantly consumes all the other versions we make up of what reality is. It can be quite challenging to just choose to step out of your old self and into this experience of being one with the ocean, because everyone around you won't agree or understand what you're going through. We have learned to lean on society for an understanding of who and what we are. Collectively, we humans have spent the past 2,000 plus years attempting to reconnect with this oneness through religion, because we have completely forgotten that we are already permanently connected to the God source. We have spiritual amnesia caused by a societal mind that was buried under the illusion that we are like the swine, when in truth we are divine. Seeing through this great misunderstanding, we can be liberated from our collective consciousness. We can be free from all suffering just like how the great masters have done throughout the ages. This collective awakening is part of the greater plan for our planet's spiritual evolution. As long as this belief in separation is the main way our society operates, we must each rebel against the norm if we are ever to find spiritual freedom. The belief system that we are not one being is the main reason why there is still war, poverty, and environmental destruction on this planet. There still remains a belief that we are disconnected. This belief is always being projected, emanating from everybody's mind around you. What everyone believes you are most likely becomes what you believe is true as well. It's safe to say that every single person you have met in this life has been overly identified with this idea of a separate self, ego, and most likely will fight for upholding the belief in our separation until the very end. It takes a very clear mind, a courageous heart, and a determined soul to break free from the matrix of illusions the society is casting over our eyes. To be free from societal programming, we must choose to first be free from our egos. For our ego to even exist at all, it must hold firm onto some belief in its separate nature. If it doesn't do this, it will feel very lost, confused, and afraid, and eventually give up. The ego must believe that it is a separate somebody rather than an omnipresent nobody. It's been trained to believe it is a drop of water and not the entire ocean as well. This individuated approach to this life has a great payoff of creating a feeling of power, control, and direction in this life. Without the ego, we might believe that all our outcomes and manifestations show up because we are the universe. And this universe is making everything happen. Without the ego, we would only have a feeling of love, abundance, true empowerment, and real inner peace in this life. The greatest truth that we can find is going to be the one that liberates us from this limited, contracted mind ego. The truth that frees our spirit is the one that brings forth the deepest feeling of joy into the lives of everyone around us. This truth is found from intimately knowing our real self, our permanent, unbounded, infinite spiritual nature. Only from exploring what it feels like to be at one with the ocean of life can we be free. This exploration is what leads us to find full self-realization and true liberation in the end. I'd like you to do a radical experiment with your life right now. I invite you to relax into this idea and feeling that you are separate from this universe right now. Rest deeply into the feeling that you are not at all the core of the God source right now. Start with becoming very curious about this idea. Feel into what it actually means until you make friends with it. The goal would be to let yourself completely melt into this feeling of separation and have zero resistance to it. With a little practice, you may discover what it's like to be connected with your experience of separation. The most healing, loving, magical, empowering source in this universe is in everything. So it's also in this experience of separation. The more we can relax into it, the more we open our heart and quiet our mind to find that the experience of deep separation dissolves itself naturally on its own accord. Within the core of separation, we will discover the most profound, powerful, unstoppable, and intimate direct connection to this pure channel of intelligent conscious energy that breathes our very core. So dive into the deepest root of all your problems, faults, self-criticisms, and personal issues. These are where you feel the most separate and disturbed. Do not wait until it's the right time to do it. Just relax into them every day, whenever, wherever you are. Make it the number one priority of your life to find this loving divine connection that is already here. Trust that it is already here, even if you cannot find it right away. Act as if you are being held like a newborn baby in the most loving, caring mother's arms, by simply resting into this feeling of separation. And you will make amazing progress on your spiritual path in a matter of minutes. And a Ramana Maharishi quote, "You are the Supreme Being." Every one of us are the Supreme Being in these bodies. And yet, thinking ourselves to be separate from it, we still strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this? You're the Supreme Being in that body, okay? Yet thinking yourself to be separate from it, you strive to become united with it when you already are it. When one begins their spiritual path, there is this feeling that who we are is more unreal than real. What I mean by this is that it can be shocking to discover that what we thought we were our entire lives is not real. We truly have no clue as to who and what we really are. We are that which is beyond what the mind can understand. We are like the infinite edges of the most massive movie screen you can imagine, which has no end to the colorful creative possibilities it could contain. Our freedom comes from knowing our undefinable nature. When we realize that we are more like a blank, multi-dimensional creative canvas and not all the scenes and stories from the grand film, something inside of us feels very vast and free. Sit back. Take a good look at your life. Take one evening to investigate all the wonderful, horrific, typical, unusual, and peak states from your life. Notice if they sum up everything about who and what you are. Is there anything more than this? Ask yourself, what is my real self? Who am I without all these experiences? Do I still exist without these memories? And if so, what exactly is that? Our real self is beyond the greatest mystery anyone could explore. We are much more amazing and magical than this separated mind ego. We are bigger than all the life experiences that are projected onto us and into us. We are also much more than the pure witness, awareness, and consciousness. We are the totality of it all, We are that which life gets to play, dance, and sing all of itself through. The separate, limited, suffering self is a comfortable habit, one that can be dropped by simply knowing how to stop identifying with it. We are neither consciousness nor its content. We are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Trust in that, Nisargadatta. The discovery of the real self is a profound spiritual exploration. The realization of who we truly are is a timeless experience that eventually becomes the death of our ego and the beginning of real freedom. Ironically, it is our deepest, innermost battle for freedom, our resistance to total surrender, that perpetuates the ego. When we stop fighting, we begin clearly seeing. The truth is revealed when there is no more need to push-pull. Prove or fight for anything. When we stop the struggle against what is, the ego's clouded existence drops and something greater enlightens our way. As long as we continue to pursue this life, thinking we are only a separate being, limited in power, love, abundance, and self-expression, we will get attached to goals, thinking they will make us happy. Be very careful not to think that these limited ideas have anything to do with who you are. Concepts of ownership, my life, my body, my thoughts, my stuff, my reality, and my mind are the only things perpetuating our human experiences of suffering. Drop these ideas and see what is left. Nothing is actually yours, and everything is yours. You realize your real self. There is no more need for the feeling of possession when you see that we are infinite spiritual beings already intimately connected to everything. Why would we need to attain something when we already feel connected with it? Why would we? Desires only form out of separation. When we sit and meditate on who we are, looking deep within inside ourselves, eventually the mind will become quiet. When this occurs, we can experience the truth that we are eternal beings filled with a great love, magic, and lightness. By knowing this inside, we naturally start living it. We really don't have to be afraid of letting go and trusting our real self. The one source will move us, guide us, shape our minds to reconnect with the hearts and souls of everyone. Living from this space, we finally reach a sense of peace with everything in our lives every day. We wake up and begin practicing being as vast and unlimited as the great infinite universe we are surrounded by. By playing an active role in this life, living out this realization in the sea of people around you, then something dawns on you that you are truly free. You really are truly free. When you see this world clearly, that everything is an expression of you, the real self, you stop hearing what you don't want to hear. You stop seeing what you don't care to see. You stop feeling what you don't care to feel. Your mind is only fixated on the brilliant diamond of consciousness that it's found. You realize that this world is your mirror. Everyone is always reflecting back to you who you are. You see an unhappy person, okay? And we all do from time to time. That person is inside you. When you're truly enlightened, the experience of the divine awakening being begins showing up in everyone in the most interesting ways. You are in an ever-flowing river of gratitude all day long. So become courageous on this path. Take the risk to meditate. Quiet your mind all day long. Soon, you'll come to know that what it means to be self-realized. Remember to love yourself, worship yourself, pray to yourself, devote your life to yourself. Find joy in yourself. Because, why? Because God dwells in you as you. Robert Evans. Well put. Hold an intention to move down out of your head and relax into your heart. Your head will be sneaky. Try to take over many, many, many times. Yet just bring your energy into your heart space. Imagine your heart is your favorite flower opening its petals to the great sun. Feel the light entering your heart. It is melting any walls you have inside around feeling loved. Now pick one person, whoever it may be. Could be your past. Could be now. Who you are not 100% at peace with. Let these warm walls around your heart melt away. Merge with the heart of this person also. Feel the sunlight is also inside their heart. Let go of whatever the mind judges about them. The goal is to be 100% at peace with this person for the rest of your life. When you can do this successfully with one person, do it with everyone from your past. Take this on as an invitation to be at peace with everyone on this planet, in the past and the future. Practice this. And imagine how that will be. Healing simply happens when we are deeply authentic and real with ourselves. When we each stop repressing the truth of who we are and are open with this, with how we are honestly feeling, our real self receives full permission to come out of hiding. Then it's easy to see the truth. We can easily stop being so invested in the opinions of others. We can no longer hesitate, recoil, and retreat, fear of another's disapproval. It's your choice if you are ever free from the judger inside you, who is not okay with others as they are, and you as you are. There exists a deeper, mature part which can accept everything inside you. You can stop trying to pretend that you are more adult-like than how you really feel inside. Merging is from the highest path any of us can take. Moving into your most enlightened self comes from seeing that everyone is you in disguise. It's up to you to remember who you truly are. With enough meditation practice, there comes this realization that you are in me and I am in you. The divine real self that we all are is impossible not to see. You realize it is everywhere. It has no actual boundaries. It is not terrified of intimacy with anyone. It loves letting go, shape-shifting and merging with everyone in this universe. It knows that if you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. Be gentle at all times with your exploration. Be compassionate with what you find. This life is the deepest mystery. And the more we can uncover who we are, the more we see that we have just scratched the surface. And there is so much more. We see that we have just scratched the surface, and there's so much more to be revealed. In the midst of the winter, I found there was within me an invisible summer. Albert Camus. And Nambala, your essence, your essential joy is so huge that it flows in every direction. A lot of the time, we all forget that the most important place we can turn for answers is inside ourselves. This outer world tends to captivate us, tantalize us, and coerce us into lose our inner direction. With its materialistic importance and superficial psychodramas, we can become emotionally captured by these experiences and feel completely disconnected from the safe, soothing resource of our inner world. The mind can become so involved in the external that we fall blind to the truth of the radiant, sacred beings we actually truly are. And the most enlightening path to liberation is the one that is the most sustainable and always available from within. This approach has stopped the search in the outer world for real fulfillment and knows there is no greater source of true satisfaction than the one that exists within. I believe that it's the incessant searching of the mind which causes us not to see. We are not seeing the divine sacred beings we truly are because we are following the mind's perpetual wanting, yearning, and desiring habit. The more time we give for appreciating what is in our lives, accepting and loving the people who share our lives with us, the wanting program that had caused internal blindness slowly starts to fade out of our lives. As long as the mind is directed outwards, our energy continues to flow away from our center, away from the deep inner peace and the stillness where all real, sustainable answers to this life are found. The truly liberated being is the one who has chosen to give up the perpetual search for happiness out there and lives only at the source of their pure spiritual essence, which is always available within. And when we turn our attention to the real source itself, the energetic blackboard behind our inner world, the essential roots of love, thought, and creativity become the real gold. When we discover the possibility of stopping the mind from its addiction to needing something outside itself to be satisfied, we discover the greatest world of freedom and empowerment has always been inside. Where there is awareness, there is the potential for hearing and healing and spiritual freedom. In each moment, we can become aware where we are focusing our attention. It is not on our inner world or our outer world. Eventually, with enough awareness, we see they are the same, and there is only one world. However, the mind is very conditioned and accustomed to perceiving a separation, focusing on the outer world for the causes of manifestation and fulfillment. It doesn't care to take 100% responsibility for the uncomfortable feelings that can be hiding in its basement. When we bring more awareness to where this source of the mind is coming from, where our outer world is truly manifesting from inside ourselves, we slowly start to see we have total responsibility over the manifestations in our lives. By not judging, but simply accepting what we find on the journey towards the source of all thought, we eventually discover how to relax into this divine responsibility and bathe in the light of our being. The source of our spiritual essence begins to take precedence over the mind. We relax into a deeper life experience that is full of unlimited potentiality and freedom. Perhaps the most wonderful thing about this universe is that it is perpetually benevolent. It always gives us exactly what we need, especially when we don't realize what it is we truly need. If we are only directing our attention towards the outer world, we burn out, and this universe leads us to retreat back into our inner world to reboot. The body and the mind are programmed to find balance, peace, and healing. At some point, the pendulum of this life will swing us back to the stillness on its own accord. The stillness is the doorway to our ultimate creativity and God-given manifestation responsibility. This is the moment our real spiritual journey begins, and the unfulfilling, never-ending path to satisfying the ego comes to an end. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy, excuse me, and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy, slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Free your mind from the prison it is in. You are unbounded, unlimited, untainted, pure awareness. Absolute freedom is your natural state. The best news is that there is nothing that you have to do to achieve it. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night. Then the following morning, we'll return here Sunday, February 25, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within or outside of you.